Hi, I'm Andrew Mertnock with Harvest Automation, and today we're going to be going over the HV-100 Preventative Maintenance Procedure. You can find the procedure in the link below. This document is divided into three sections: the Operator Daily Inspection, the Robot Technician Weekly Inspection, and the Robot Technician 500-Hour Inspection. The second chapter is Robot Weekly Inspection. This inspection should be performed by somebody with a service or maintenance background. It's important to do this inspection weekly to keep the robot operating correctly. So the first thing we're going to do is fill out the top of the form. Again, we're going to fill it out with the robot name and serial number, the robot operating hours, the date that the inspection was done, and who was inspected by. There are 9 items on this form, and you're going to check yes or no. If there's a yes, make sure to note that in the notes section. First thing you're going to do is review the Operator Daily Inspection Report to see if there are any repairs needed. The second thing you're going to do is actually perform the Operator Daily Inspection. It's important to have somebody with a service and maintenance background to do this, to catch things that somebody who operates the robot daily may not catch. The third item is to review all the wear parts for replacement indication, see if there's any repairs needed. A lot of these parts were just covered under the Operator Daily Inspection. We're going to go into some of the ones that weren't covered in more detail here. The next item is to review all the wear parts, and to do that you're going to skip down to section 2.1 where it lists all of the wear parts. So the first one we're going to do is the front roller. Now the replacement indicator is flat spots or reduced diameter, and I have one right here that has both flat spots and reduced diameter. But what you're really looking for are reports from the operator that the robot is stopping way more often with obstacles or can't find plant. So it's more of a behavior-based thing. You replace it when you get too many errors. The next item is the tail roller puck. The replacement indicator here is the retaining screw exposed underneath. And you can kind of feel under there to feel if that screw is exposed. You also want to see if there are any reports from the operator ripping up ground cloth or damaging the terrain. So the next item is the front chassis cover. So this is the front chassis cover and this is the hinge. And we're looking for it to be worn through so that there's holes or anything that would allow water into that compartment. The next item is the front link cover. It's this cover right here, and it's fairly rare that it's broken, but it's worth an inspection to see if there's any damage. Okay, so the next item is the outer gear cover. Now the outer gear cover is located right here behind the manipulator, and the best way to inspect this is to go into the adjust gripper behavior, move the manipulator down so you get a good view of it. Now here's an example of a cracked outer gear cover. You can see right there. Now it's important to report this right away because this can let water into the chassis of the robot and damage internals. So the remaining items in section 2.1 are all covered under the daily inspection, and you should have just covered those. So we're going to move on to section 2.2. Section 2.2 covers the list of parts that occasionally break due to misuse of the robot. Most of these are covered under the operator daily inspection under inspections for dent, damage, or broken items. So the first set of items has to do with the gripper, and this is the gripper panel, pusher bar, the clamping knobs. Then we go to the boundary sensor covers. These are the orange covers on all 4 corners of the robot. Alright, then we do the service replacement kit for the lens. That's this lens right here. It's located right here on the robot, and this requires a certification change. The side of the dazzle post is right here on the edge of the SICK. UI encoder knob is what we use to adjust the UI right here. The antenna is this right here, located on the other side of the E-box. The staple rear roller, it's actually located right here. Looks like this, and it's used to hold up the tail puck. And the lanyards for those rear stabilizers are right here, holding up this metal block. Then we have the SICK bumper, which is right here under the SICK. And the fender, which is here and here, covering the wheels. And then we have the end of field marker. That's it for the first 4 items on the weekly inspection. The next item, number 5, is if the robot has pneumatic tires, you want to check the tire pressure, make sure it's about 21 psi. It's good within 1 or 2 psi. Okay. So the next item is, are the front roller bearings noisy or hard to turn? And to check that, you're going to want to lift the front of the robot and give them a spin. See, it should move nice and easily. If there's any ground cloth in there, you're going to want to remove it. This is an example of ground cloth that's been caught in between the bracket in the front roller and bearing. And if there's any items in there, you're going to want to remove it. You can see right here the ground cloth that's sticking out in between these two. And you're going to want to remove that either with a sharp tool or sometimes it'll just come by hand. So the next item is, are the battery contacts corroded or damaged? To check that, you're going to want to open up the battery compartment and look in here, usually using a flashlight. The operator needs to know to keep this area very clean. If there's mud or there's water standing against that, it will interfere with the battery. The next item is, are there any faults in the fault log? Now, if there are faults in the fault log, there'll be a little wrench that appears right here in the UI. To check that, you're going to want to go to Admin, and then to Faults, and then into View Fault Log. Now, you're going to want to write down exactly what it says, but you're also going to want to skip directly to item number 9, which is Upload Logs and BBRs. Now, as with any item, you're going to mark yes on this, take the notes, write down exactly what it says, then after you've uploaded the logs and the BBRs, you're going to contact Harvest for support. So that's it for the weekly inspection. I'm Andy Mertnock. Feel free to contact us at Harvest if you have any support needs.